So, as you might see now, this is now its own thing because adding it on the other podcasts, well, not podcast, we're not podcasting more, on our YouTube show, is it. So now welcome into a new video from the fellas. This is probably going to be stay with maybe alternate with the new idea we announced last week. But welcome to the top 5 video. All right. So great graphics, beautiful that was.
Beautiful graphics.
Hard work.
Guys, I put effort into it all the time.
So, if you watched last week's all the way to the end,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you for a start. But this week is overrated, underrated superstars of all time.
Yeah.
Or wrestlers. Just to clear that up, because we did have a bit of a question asked last night from Ted. Could he put the whole TNA company in? No. What's the answer? Let's keep it the superstars. But I know Ted wants to give a bit of a nod to TNA before we get going.
Yeah. I just feel TNA is a massively underrated show. Like every pay-per-view that they've put on since becoming TNA again, for me, they've had there's been at least 1 or 2 banger matches. Like Mike Bailey versus Will Ospreay from the other month, absolute banger match. Then you've had Dolph versus who was the one on the most recent pay-per-view?
Nick Nemeth and
Josh
Nick Alexandra.
Yeah. That has been a match, but
anything Josh Alexander does is banging.
Yeah, exactly. It's
anything speedball, anything system. The only thing I feel like needs to improve is the women's division.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a general consensus for wrestling right now.
Yeah. No comment.
But yeah, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. I just feel if you have got the time and you can find a place to watch it, go and give Impact a watch because it's well worth your time.
So, over, under, where are we going?
Where should we start? We'll do under first.
Under's nicer, innit? Under's nicer.
I think my number one's going to surprise you.
Right, okay. So, number 5. I couldn't choose.
I couldn't choose between my 2, so I've got 2 here. Sorry, I've cheated.
I know, I have 2 as
Kill
well.
me. Sorry, Ted. I should have told you this when you messaged me last night. No, actually, Ted, in my defense, one of these people I had it in last night when I was watching Raw. So it's a joint one.
I know,
so I do apologise. Okay, so I'll go first. I've got Xavier Woods.
Oh, I didn't think it was that one.
And I've got Natty.
Fairs.
I'm on record for Natty saying that Natty deserves so much more. I'm not going to go into great detail because we've debated this many times, me and you. And obviously with Ted. But Xavier Woods, after watching last night, chatting with Matt when we was live, Xavier Woods deserves the title. Xavier Mania, baby. You heard it here first. For all the work he does for him on the digital side, he deserves a title run, and I well hope that he was winning that match last night. And I'd be all right if I'm taking it off. Brought that Bron Breakker from Barnsley.
Bloody Bron Breakker from Barnsley.
My first 2 are Natty and Xavier Woods.
So I've actually done 2 as well.
So we've all gone 2, so that's fine then. At least we're all on the same thing.
So my 2 is Baron Corbin. Is my first
shout.
One.
What a fucking shout that is.
Baron Corbin.
Working man of 20.
I feel like I've gone too old school, me.
I tried to put a mix of both.
I've got all my underrated to new school, apart from one. But yeah, Baron Corbin has been smashing it in NXT. When he got to the main roster, I was hoping they were going to keep him with my mate Bron Breakker from Barnsley. I hope they were going to keep him as War Dogs. Or whatever they were called. It's definitely War Dogs.
It's the Bron Breakker merch.
Bron Breakker merch. But yeah, for me, we've just spoke about what ifs.
What was the year Roman Reigns had to duck out because of his leukemia?
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Statistically, the hardest working person in WWE.
Yeah,
because 2018.
2019 for argument's sake.
It was 2018 because he returned for the WrestleMania Euro match.
So 2019, statistically, the hardest working wrestler in WWE in 2019 was Baron Corbin. He appeared in more matches than anybody else.
Yeah.
Live events, pay-per-views, shows, he was the hardest working. Baron Corbin deserved so much more back then.
He does, and I love his cooking channel. His cooking social media that he does, and cooking his steaks and his cigar and having his cigars. But yeah, I really like him. And Slash Ricochet, based off everything in WWE that he did since NXT, and where we started with in AEW, but we've already had that discussion. So I feel he's very
underutilized. See that? Go watch
now.
the video.
Yeah, exactly. Go watch the video. But yeah, those are my top. Those are my 5/6. I'd say those are my 2.
I've gone Wade Barrett.
Okay.
Very underrated. Should have won the WWE title when he was hot within the Nexus.
Yeah.
Should have stayed around longer in WWE for a better career than what he had. And my other one is Mickie James.
Okay.
I don't think Mickie James gets the flowers as much as people like Trish and Lita. I feel like Mickie James is better in the ring than both of them. I feel like WWE in 2010 absolutely misused her and called her Piggy James. And it was a fucking joke.
Yeah.
She went everything in TNA she did was absolutely fucking incredible. Every match she had was meant. She never put on a fucking shit performance. Even in WWE, she won the WWE title in London. The women's title in London. I was there for. Fuck you, Ted. No, joking. So yeah, I've gone Mickie James. I think Mickie James, and I've on record, and I will say it. At the moment, I think she's one or two best women wrestlers I've ever watched. I think she's fucking mint. She's
the one that we've both said. I think we've all said actually at one point. If Tony Khan needs some help booking that women's division,
her and Gail came the two that he needs to bring him.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah. Number 4.
I've gone for an older one.
I have.
Willie Regal.
Oh, he's further up my list.
Yeah,
William Regal deserved to be a world champion. Deserved to be more of a champion than he was in WWE. He's all these stuff that he's done for NXT, helping out all the young stars. I didn't realise him, Finlay, and a couple of others were massive to-dos with why Becky Lynch came to WWE. But yeah, he doesn't get I think he does get his applaudits now as an in-ring competitor. He doesn't get the respect.
I think he gets plaudits now as a trainer.
Yeah,
I was going to say we'll talk about that very soon.
Okay.
To feel where we're bringing it in. My number 4 is Test.
Yeah, I can see Test.
I felt like Test.
Forgot all about Test, to be honest.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. So I was putting current in it, and I thought, well, I'm thinking over time, and who should have had world championships. There was another 2 that should have had world titles that are not in this list. Maybe one of them should. But no, Test. He was fucking incredible for a big guy.
He was.
Storyline with Steph, Triple H. Obviously, Stephanie leaving him for marrying Triple H, and then he just got lost. He was in the European title picture and in the Continental title, and just never pushed out the Shane McMahon thing.
That's so stuff.
So when Test died was it 2007? Test died because he was in ECW, weren't
he? Yeah.
I felt like his ECW run could have turned into something, but then he got released. But yeah, Test for me, number 4.
Mine's he is a current wrestler actually, but he has been around for a while. R-Truth or Ron Killings, or whatever you want to call him. I know he's had titles in.
He's held the more titles than anyone in wrestling.
I know that I think though I absolutely love the comedic R-Truth right now. It's really entertaining. It's probably the funniest thing WWE's got right now. But I really loved serious R-Truth or Ron Killings in TNA.
Yeah.
And I think
2011 as well.
So obviously they put the NWA a title around his waist and it was a big thing. I think that was eyes on the product sort of move. Hasn't really done much since then. I would love WWE to give him a title run now. And no, even as the funny gimmick, I think he just has been more in recent year. He's been the laughing stock when they've needed it instead of being taken serious like he deserves to be because he can actually go. And he's probably he's about 80-year-old now and he still looks like he's 20.
Yeah.
But yeah, R-Truth makes it on mine number 4.
Yes. Number 3. I'll go first.
Yep.
I've got X-Pac. I don't think people rate him as highly as they should. His in-ring work was great. Storyline with Kane and Tori, and moving on to try and do something with the X Factor, which was just incredible. And Albert, that was just crap in itself. But he just consistently in the ring was so good. Intercontinental champ, European champ. Was he in the Intercontinental champ, European champ. Never won the world title. I think he's one of those that you just knew he wasn't going to do it, but maybe should have had at least a shout or a title match at some point on a pay-per-view. I think in his career, he only had like 3 title matches, and it was all on Raw.
Yeah.
Felt like he deserved a bit more.
I think he had a couple on like pay-per-views, but only little belts.
No.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
Number 3, Will Regal. I feel I just touched on it there, and obviously what Ted said echoes, and I'm sure Matt's going to go in a minute a bit more about it. I feel that there's going to be a large minority of wrestling fans that are only going to remember William Regal as the GM of NXT, Blackpool Combat Club, and the stuff he works behind stage. They're not going to remember his in-ring. He was European champion. I think he might have had hardcore and maybe Intercontinental.
Yeah.
That's it. He deserved a little bit more. He probably falls into the bracket, like you say, with X-Pac. We sort of knew he'd never going to be world champion, but deserved to maybe have more chances at it in a bit more time, especially when he did his work with like as a GM mode where he's GM, he could have booked himself, storyline it into it. But yeah, Will Regal, he's massively underrated as a wrestler. I think that's the crucial part of that.
Yeah.
As a wrestler.
Yeah. Ed, did you say yours?
No, mine is my number 3. It's a bit of a weird one. This I had to tell John about this one yesterday. Keith Lee. I don't feel Keith Lee's shouting. He's I don't feel he gets the plaudits. He's done nothing much in AEW. I'll be serious. Sorry.
Really?
I thought that was.
I knew that was coming. He told me yesterday.
Bob, I asked John about this one because it's a bit of a weird one, but I want to explain why. Bobby Lashley is my number 3 for underrated.
Right.
Let him explain. You'll get it when he explains it.
So if you look at Bobby Lashley, I know he's won WWE championships, but look at his run in TNA. Went from the first time where he came in and he was smashing everybody and he was mint. Then Vince didn't know what to do with him. He let him go. He smashed it in TNA. Then he came back. He didn't do much. Then they gave him the title. Didn't do much again. I think like you could have been looking at way more titles for Bobby Lashley if he were used correctly. Like look at this stuff with the Pride. What was that? Nothing. Didn't go nowhere. If you get it.
So basically, what you're trying to say, his current run,
yeah,
he's been underrated on his current run than what he should have been.
So actually, if you go all the way back, so they had him come in as a US Marine, former Marine. So he was like the army guy. He was massively over with the fans, had a cool entrance, and he didn't win anything. He won the US title once.
He won US title, ECW title. He was at WrestleMania against Omega in the hair versus hair match.
Yeah.
He was in big feuds, mate, with Vince.
There, nailed right in the head with Vince.
Yeah. That was the big feud at the time. Vince was dying.
Yeah, but I get what Ted's trying to say there. So his first run, I remember that when he mentioned he was over.
So him versus John Cena was sick. It was one of the best match. It was
I was going to say,
amazing.
Cena 3 times on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But
And he lost
no one
every
was
time.
taking no one was taking the title off Cena at that time.
Yeah,
no one was. Even
I think the
Orton
time he
wasn't.
came in.
Yeah.
There. But the peak of his first run was the hair versus hair match against Omega.
Yeah.
For Vincent. That was a peak. Then he went out and did his thing at TNA and showed that actually this is a level champion wrestler here. Did his MMA stuff. I think he's undefeated in MMA as well. Unlike a certain somebody.
Now, will you stop
Not
talking
naming
about
again. But then
Yes.
I get he mentioned, and I do understand, and I did say I'll vouch for him. I agree. His run, I get it, he's been world champion when he came back, but we could have had so much more from them runs. The Pride, like the Hurt Locker, mate.
That's the
Hurt
pride.
Locker.
The Pride thing was the injury to him. He got the injury,
Yeah.
didn't he? And then that was it.
The Hurt
Yeah,
Locker, I think, was the bigger one. They did WWE, and I think we were under Vince then still, weren't we?
Yeah, we were under Vince.
They slept on what could have been.
That was lockdown.
Absolute gold. I do think that the other two, Shelton and Cedric, were questionable. Profits going in
at
there.
the time they were great. They were
At the time, yeah, but
champs, weren't they?
put profits in potentially. But I agree with him. To the point, I can see where it's coming from on the underrated there.
Number 2. I've got the Miz.
Spoke about it last night.
People can fucking come at me all they want, and I know they will do. One of the best on the mic, never been injured, consistently good in the ring, made the Intercontinental Championship relevant in 2016 when he got moved to SmackDown. That promo against Daniel Bryan was changed everything for the Miz and Daniel Bryan as general manager at the time. He's consistently been given storylines and has consistently been shit on by fans because he's the Miz. He's seen as this loudmouth, shouldn't be in WWE, he's not even good in the ring, face Cena at WrestleMania. He goes on about it because he knows, he's already said in an interview, it wasn't the greatest WrestleMania main event, but he got given that opportunity and he got knocked out cold in that match and doesn't even remember the end of it. The Miz deserves more respect from the fans. This is more from the fans, this one. I've been trying to look at it from both sides, but this is more from the fans. The fans need to give the Miz more respect than what he's given.
Absolutely.
It's fucking so good.
My number 2 is also the Miz. For the exact same reasons you've just said. See, the Miz is a ballot 1 Hall of Famer.
Tell me a bad storyline. Bad storyline that he's not had a bad match in.
Even when they give him,
I want to, but I'm going John Morrison and his. Then he had a slap the match with Bad Bunny and Priest.
Exactly, got given the Bad Bunny shit and the bunny hopping and the John Morrison shit, but the match at WrestleMania banged.
Yeah,
it was great.
Absolutely.
He got given Logan Paul in his first match.
Yeah.
And
that
Logan was a great
looked like
match.
a king.
Like, Triple H and WWE trust him because of his in-ring work.
He's becoming too reliable though for him, and I think that's the issue. That they know they can give him something just to get time on TV and fill spaces. I think Miz needs to go in the business for himself, maybe, to get the respect.
I think he's probably at that point now where he thinks,
"Heyday,
I've done
easy
it.
Ride.
WrestleMania main event, multiple WWE championships. I've held everything there is to hold by NXT stuff. I'm happy doing what I'm doing." And he's a company man. You know, when we say Seth won't ever leave WWE, and he's WWE through and through, the Miz and R-Truth to the same point, WWE through and through. They won't ever leave that company.
My number 2, talking of a company man. Kane.
See, I was gonna put Kane in. I was touchy on Kane, but I chose Wade Barrett instead. Kane
was one of the names that went straight on my list. So my top 2 were the first 2 people I put on when I thought this. And then I had to explain why Kane to Zoe last night, because she's like, "What's Kane?" Why? Obviously, she knows about wrestling, but she knows who Kane was. Knows like brother. You look through Kane's accomplishments as a wrestler, right? He's held a title once,
Twice.
2 different titles, different eras, whatever.
Oh,
but
right, we're
twice,
talking about.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
So he's held that twice. He's been like a tag team title holder, depending on what era, 9 times, 1 time. Everything's once, twice. Da, da, da. Bear in mind, this is meant to be the metaphorical brother of The Undertaker. He was one of the most dominant forces in pro wrestling in the early 90s. Like, he was unstoppable. He was
Late 90s.
like, Kane came to the ring, you knew that person was getting their ass kicked. And yet, he's only won the world titles once.
Yep.
Once. His debut was iconic. He's tagged with Taker. They made you actually believe that they were brothers.
They're not?
They're not. Mate, yeah, unfortunately not. Someone told me at weekend that Kane and Undertaker weren't brothers. Rumour weekend.
That's ruined my childhood.
Bang out order that.
Bang out of order. But yeah, I think when you break down his accomplishment, what Kane actually achieved, like accomplishment wise, so underrated.
Yeah.
I agree. Number 1, I'll start because you both said the one. William Regal, I put as number 1. I completely agree. I think he will get noticed more and spoke about more because of NXT, what he's done in the background for WWE and then the Blackpool Combat Club. When in reality, he was the biggest heel in WWE next to Stone Cold in 2001. General manager in 2000. Everyone hated him. Was it 2000? No, Mick Foley was 2000. But he was the biggest heel in 2000. European champ, Intercontinental champ, never won the world title. Should have won a world title. His thing with Triple H in 2004 with Eugene, 5 with Eugene, was some of his best promo work. We watched it back the other week there was something on TikTok about William Regal, and then I went on the network and watched it. His promo work with Eugene and Triple H when Triple H was attacking Eugene was some of his best promo work. Very underrated, and if anyone knows me knows I love William Regal. Fucking absolutely adore the man.
Yeah.
In ring and backstage.
My number 1 is
Hulk Hogan.
no. Dolph Ziggler is my number 1. Underrated.
Okay.
He was on my list.
He bumped all over the gaff for everyone, and everyone everywhere was heavily reliable, like Miz. But at least Miz gets some plaudits, and Miz has won some titles. Dolph had one of the best cash-ins, and they did nothing with it off the back of it. He won the NXT title, had a great feud with Bron Breakker, and he were like I say, it were really, really good, and he never got his praise. Now he's left, and he's to corner phase from Sheamus. He's been putting on banger after banger match, month after month. He's been all over the world. He's like flying from. He's been in New Japan. He's done.
I
TNA.
still think he is though. I still think people don't realize how good he is.
Yeah.
I think that's because he went to TNA, and this is not. You know me, I love TNA. I feel like if he went to AEW, and I know people don't come at me and say, WWE guys going to AEW. I think Dolph would have done amazing in AEW.
Me, I think Dolph should have done a Cardona and worked the independents a lot more.
Oh, really?
I think he would have found his real fans on the independent circuit a bit more. Don't go wrong, do a bit of TV like Cardona's doing, but go out heavy. Cody had to do it. I think take a leaf out of Cody's, go heavy on the independents, get yourself over that, and then get yourself back on TV, build yourself back up. I think he would get his flowers, as you said before, by going out and showing people in warehouses and not afraid to go and wrestle in a warehouse. Not afraid to go to GCW and potentially get your head cut open with a piece cut up by Nick Gage. I think that's what Dolph needs to show, that he is not just there for TV time. He's willing to go and wrestle in the middle of Stoke on a Sunday afternoon in front of 10 people. That sort of thing. I think that would do him a world of good. It can be done. and you can survive on it. Cody's proven it. Matt Cardona is still proving it right now.
Yeah.
My number one, and I think it's both going to go, I've got a reason. Goldust, Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
And Zoe, I spent Zoe last night, and when she's like, yeah, you were actually bang on there. He has always lived in the shadow of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So coming up early years, he was always, this is Dustin Rhodes, the son of Dusty Rhodes. When it did, obviously tried to cut away from that when Edgy became Goldust, like one of the like most flamboyant people wanted to kill him because of the way he dressed in the 90s. Wow, look at his hair.
Yeah, that's getting cut.
So that's why. Okay, now so on the live stream on All In, I said get your cowboy hat on. He went, I don't want to take my hat off because of my hair. Now I understand why. Fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried to cut away from being Dusty's son by doing the whole Goldust thing. Had his problems, his demons, his battles, and whatever, got himself sorted, starting to come good, getting tagged, coming through again at Goldust with Truth. And then along comes his little baby brother, Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, obviously, Cody was not started. He was still getting the son of Dusty Rhodes, but now Cody's gone away, done what Cody's done, and he is now Dusty Rhodes, the big brother of Cody Rhodes. He's never really been given. I don't know his accomplishments. I should have really looked up his title runs. I know he's had a couple title runs. I know a lot of them probably tag, maybe Intercontinental.
He's had Intercontinental. I think he's had European as well.
Yeah, but he's always, for me, I think he's been so underappreciated for how good he actually is. Technically, he's been always underappreciated because he's always had a shadow cast upon him for being somebody's son or brother.
He's had Intercontinental title 3 times, World Tag title with Booker T, WWE Tag Team title 2 times with Cody Rhodes / Stardust, and he's held the Hardcore title 7 times.
I mean, no
WCW, United States, World 6-Man Tag, World Tag Team, NWA World Tag Team, WCW United States.
I mean, but I think the big thing for me for Dustin is he's always lived in somebody's shadow.
Yeah,
and he's never been appreciated for being Dustin Rhodes himself or Goldust. I think Goldust was one of the most controversial characters of the 90s.
Yeah,
people literally wanted to beat him up because he was wearing dresses to the ring.
Well, the bit where he kisses the Ahmed Johnson.
Ahmed Johnson wanted to kill him.
Yeah. And obviously he worked for pretty much every company going. Like TNA, that was a bad one. 7.
Yeah.
But he's worked for every company going. He's done it for multiple decades.
I agree.
So for me, he's one of the most. He is for me the underrated among them all. So that's under. Now
well, 2 people that we haven't said, and they were when I googled it, everyone said the same too. Jake Roberts, underrated, and Roddy Piper.
Another couple that I see when I was doing my research. I know Dave, Desert Man, mentioned him in the chat one day. Billy Kidman.
Dean Malenko.
I remember telling you about Dean Malenko later on. And Kenyon.
Yeah, Chris Kenyon's another.
Chris Kenyon gets a lot of plaudits, but never really achieved greatness.
Yeah.
That was another one that came up, but I wouldn't put him in my list because I don't have any memory of Kenyon. But yeah, right. Let's get to the one where we're going to get shot for.
Overrated. Number 5, I have Mr. CM Punk.
Surprisingly, so do I. Legitimately, I have CM Punk as number 5 as well.
It's hard for me. It's hard for me to do this because I was a massive Punk fan in his first WWE stint. I've looked at it from his return and his AEW stint more than the past. I think his fans massively overrate him now. He's not as good as he used to be. I still stand on my mountain saying that as a company you bring it in because of the merch and stuff. But as a talent, his fans massively overrate him. If you were talking to me now in 2013, he wouldn't be in this list because I absolutely fucking loved Punk back in the day. But Punk now is very overrated.
Yeah, Matt, you've covered what I'm basically about to say.
Yeah.
My number 5.
Yeah.
Okay, you're looking at me like, go on.
Go on.
Do it. Ric Flair.
I knew Ric Flair would be in this list for you.
Obviously, I get it, like if you go back into the 70s and whatever, he probably had bangers and bangers and bangers, but the talent was nowhere near as the standard it is today. Probably, obviously, that's your people's views, and I just don't get it. I really don't. I've said it before. I just don't get this.
I swear down, Shawn Michaels is on this list. I'm gonna fucking hit you. You do know that, don't you?
No, it's not. No. So
right, that's all right.
So let me clear it up with the Shawn Michaels thing. I appreciate Shawn Michaels' work. I just don't. I don't see how he got to the where he is. If you get what I mean, and people's like favorites. I like DX Shawn Michaels. I think that's probably and I don't understand how he's. But I rate Shawn Michaels. I like Shawn Michaels. I'm not saying I don't.
I'll let you off. Anyway, Ric Flair. Sorry.
Yeah. How that guy is an 18-time world champion blows my mind. And I think as well, it doesn't help that he's literally trying to hang on and hang on and hang on. The guy died in the ring and he still wants another match. Stop. You know what we've talked about earlier on, people need to just retire and walk away and never come back.
Yeah.
There's your prime example. That's the poster boy. That's the leader of the group.
Yeah. I did say that, and I got a weird look when I said that.
But yeah, stop. He needs to go disappear. Don't come back. Don't come back work with Charlotte because all you're going to do is drag Charlotte down because you're going to be around. Just walk away. I nearly put Charlotte Flair in the list, and it would have been because of Ric Flair.
I would have fucking. No,
they would have been.
In ring, mate. If Charlotte Flair didn't have the Flair name at the end of it, in ring, I would give her plaudits. But I do feel like because when she returns back, she was shoved straight into the title shot.
But she worked last time.
I feel like, mate, she was only a couple of matches than she was. I feel like they gave her everything that she's got because of who she is to keep him happy.
She came back and then won the belt off Ronda, didn't she?
That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was the last return.
Like 2 years.
No, it weren't. No, it wasn't. Because she worked with Bianca at the start of the year. Before she got injured when she did the moonsault off the top rope.
Well, the point proving of the WrestleMania match between Becky and Ronda Rousey, she was shoehorned into that. Didn't need her. But I rate Charlotte in ring. I don't like the fact that she's gifted it because of her name, and that's because of him. You look at the stuff he's got away with as well with WWE. The whole stuff in that plane, mate.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing anything with Ric Flair.
But yeah, Ric Flair.
I'll battle anyone on Charlotte. Number 4.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go for it. Because you're all going to rate me when I say mine.
So take this and listen. JBL. No, JBL, not Bradshaw. JBL. When he put his cowboy hat on.
I'm the only one that rates him.
I don't get the hype behind him. I get he had some good matches with John Cena, but that's it. When he was in the APA, he was his best. I don't get the whole JBL hype.
Me and Matt, me and you.
Apart from me and Ted, who rates him?
I don't like him, and I also don't like the fact.
Hang on, this ain't who you dislike list. This is who is overrated.
Yeah, I think I think he's overrated. I do generally think he's overrated. Doesn't help that I don't like him as well.
Who rates him? About me and Ted.
Oh, mate, he's made an appearance at GCW this weekend, and the world's going mad because JBL is back in the ring.
I think that
that's why that's why he's been brought back into my memory banks, because my social feeds are going mad because JBL is back in the ring. He did GCW and AAA. I just don't get the hype behind him. I think he's so overrated.
You ready to all kick off with me? No, Ted, you do yours first.
Number 4, Austin Theory.
Who rates Austin Theory? Do you
Yeah.
guys not understand this list? Who rates Austin Theory?
WWE, apparently.
Why?
Not anymore, you know.
He's been in main shows. He's on every
Because he's
SmackDown.
part of the
without
most
fail.
hated tag team there. They don't rate him because he's like one of the best performers. They put him on there because he's the biggest he's one of the biggest heels on the show. They don't rate him. They're not giving him the US title or the world title. Oh, well,
Yeah,
my next one, Sting.
did-
Fight me. My next one, Sting.
Sorry, what?
I think Sting is
What?
so highly overrated. It's unreal.
Are you on crack?
No.
He
I
must
think
be.
Sting is highly overrated. I don't get the hype with Sting. I never have done in WCW. I've never done it in TNA. Never did it in AEW. I don't get it.
This
What?
is your Keith Lee moment.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
This is your Keith Lee moment. Mate, I'm sorry, but he is WCW's Undertaker.
I don't get it. I don't get him.
That's your
I
WWE
don't
brain, mate.
I
That's your
don't
WWE
understand.
mark.
It's not. It's nothing to do with WWE brain. I
That's
don't get the whole
100%
hype.
your WWE mark.
I don't get the whole hype of Sting. I
This
don't.
time he's on your list for the new thing that we're bringing in.
He is actually with Matt Briscoe as well. He's
Right.
on there because I don't get the Briscoes. Yeah, I don't get Sting. Never have done.
Save
Never
your
will do.
WCW, mate. I don't know. Did you watch? I know this is not me. This is me just trying to work out how. Did you watch a lot of WCW?
No.
Right, that'll be it then. Generally, this is not me like throwing the only watch them. That'll probably be it. I think to understand and
I watched him in
appreciate.
TNA.
Right,
I watched him
yeah.
in TNA.
Joker Sting
And
was
I've
sick.
watched him in AEW.
TNA Sting was good, but did they appreciate Sting to the level that people do? You need to watch WCW Sting.
Right, well, we'll go into the thing later.
Yeah.
But for me, in my personal opinion, Sting is overrated.
Yeah,
Don't get it.
and this is your opinion, absolutely.
I don't hate him. I don't hate him at all.
Yeah,
but I just don't. Get
I genuinely, I think Desert Man will probably come in the comments and he's probably going to come and hunt you down, mate. So forget about your.
Oh no, we spoke about it the other day. He agrees. He can see why.
All right, you can see reasoning, but yeah, I think to get the hype, you need to watch the best of him. Just like any wrestler, they understand the hype of them, or you need to watch the best. And for me, the best, good in TNA, but the best of him was definitely WCW days.
Yeah,
Orange Cassidy was on that in that slot for me, but then I changed it to Sting. One, because I like being controversial. I fucking love it. But two, I just generally I don't get Sting. The only thing I get about him is the Crow, because I love the Crow. But that is the only thing.
That's when he got good as well, mate. That's when he got really good.
So
Ted?
number 3.
Yeah, we're on number 3.
Yep.
No,
He's done his
who was
4.
number 4?
Austin Theory.
All right, yeah, number 3.
Hulk Hogan.
Yep, same.
My guy
Goldberg.
can't wrestle. He just. All right, okay. Fair.
My number 3 is Goldberg.
Yeah, I can see Goldberg. Hogan for me, right? So I've got a record. It's on there. I was a Hulkamaniac when I was a kid, but as I've grown up and I've got past the excitement of Hulk Hogan coming on the screen and actually gone back and watched, he ain't that good. He's a couple of body slams and a leg drop.
Fucking shit. That's why he's
Taking away
higher
the
on my list.
controversy recently, obviously, that doesn't bring in it, but he is overrated. He was not good. He was just good at a time where wrestling sucked.
Yeah. He had a lot of better people around him. Randy Savage.
He stole the
Rich
spotlight
Steamboat.
from people that deserved it, like Randy Macho Savage, who could
Right.
actually go in the ring. Ricky
Roddy
Steamboat
Piper.
Dragon. Piper. But because he got a gimmick and got it over and it worked, people put him on a pedestal that he doesn't belong on.
Mm-hmm. 2.
Oh, Goldberg's shit, mate. Goldberg's wank. I hate him. Always hated him. I didn't mind his 2003 run. Didn't mind it. But it was a bit different for Triple H. And the whole when he had the Elimination Chamber in 2003. But altogether, I just don't like Goldberg. He's fucking shit, and you can come at me, but there was no way he should have took the title of Kevin Owens and then took the title off the Fiend.
No, absolutely not. Shouldn't touch Fiend.
And Roman and Drew did right by burying him.
WCW fans will probably come at you for that because he was
I don't
great.
give a shit. I
want to just point something out for WCW fans. I watched WCW as a kid. That was my wrestling because I didn't have Sky like Rishi Sunak. But if you genuinely go back and watch his matches, none of them went more than 3 minutes. And each week, that undefeated streak went up by about 100, 200 each week. He wasn't even wrestling. He's not as good as I like Goldberg. And I always have done, but he's not as good as people put him on. Absolutely not.
Asuka's undefeated streak more than his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He bitches about Asuka's undefeated streak.
He can have his 2-minute matches.
Number 2?
Hulk Hogan.
Goldberg.
You two just swapped. Shock. He's not number 1.
I thought he would be, to be fair, but I know who number 1 is because we probably got the same number 1.
He was
He
was actually number 5. And who did I take out for him then? Just took somebody out to move him back up. I took Jeff Jarrett out. But I've already had a rant about Jeff Jarrett today, so I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wasn't going to put him in because you know my views. I'm not going into it. Number 2, CM Punk.
Okay. Number 2, Hulk Hogan, for the reasons you said. He was fucking shit, mate. You can't give me a good Hulk Hogan match. And the amount of times he goes on about lifting Andre above his head at WrestleMania and the Hulkamaniacs going wild. Mate, Randy Savage could have been in that position and he still would have been it would have been a much better match than that fucking was. Randy Savage was a much better wrestler, a much better entertainer, and could do more than Hulk Hogan. I didn't like Ultimate Warrior, but Ultimate Warrior could do more than what Hulk Hogan did. Hulk Hogan is just, mate, you can't give me something. I beg someone to find me a Hulk Hogan match I'll be entertained in. I wasn't even entertained with Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 18. I thought it was shit. People overhyped that match so much. It was crap.
And he's big plotted that he was the first one to lift Hogan, Andre up and slam him. It's not true. I can't remember, was it Big John Studd or was it the superstar Billy Graham? Or one of the two of them did it.
Big John Studd, yeah.
I think it was Big John Studd. If you watch the documentary on Andre, it's on Sky. It's on.
It's really good.
It's a really good documentary.
You actually see
Big John Studd does it first.
Yeah.
Do you want anything about Goldberg, Ted?
Yeah, just he's just killed careers. Like he killed the Fiend for me. Like him losing the title just for no reason. Kevin Owens killed all his momentum. So, but I'll be honest, I'm going to take the L on that one because I was buzzing that he absolutely slapped Brock Lesnar at the time that I hated even more. So, lads, I apologise. I take the L on him coming round to beat Kev. I'll take responsibility on that one. That one's on me. I kind of asked for that one. But yeah, he's just, for me, his entire career is just massively overrated.
No one's got Brock Lesnar in top 5, no?
No.
It's hard to put Brock Lesnar in overrated.
Yeah. So I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and they put Brock Lesnar in their top 5.
I can see people's argument for putting him in there. I can see why people would think it, but it's hard to. He is genetically one of them one of a kind wrestlers, and it's in his runs. It's not his fault. That's the way he's been booked.
Yeah.
Number 1.
I'll say at the same time.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Bret
Hart.
Oh.
What did you say?
I said Keith Lee.
Yeah. To be fair, he was going to be my honourable mention.
No, Bret Hart. I don't think we go too deep in that because it's been a conversation that's been.
I will. He's shit, mate.
Yeah. He is not the best there ever was, the best there will ever be, or the best there is. Absolutely not. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I've tried watching these matches back to understand it. I just don't get it. His matches were boring. I think, unfortunately, and he is lucky that what happened to Owen happened, because Owen was gonna take over him
Yeah.
all day.
all day.
Owen
the
was so
better
much better
half.
than he is.
He's so bitter as well about things.
He's bitter about everything, not just some things, man. He's bitter about everything. Goldberg, he's bit. I know that goes without saying.
I mean,
Yeah.
He's bitter about he's
Sean.
bitter about Seth Rollins. He's bitter about every couple of weeks you see him just be negative about somebody.
I'm not being funny, but if you're not going to drop the title when you're moving to another company, sort your fucking head out.
Whether it's your home state or not, I'm telling you now, I don't care. Anybody wants to come at me in the comments. He was in on the Montreal screw job. He was in on it. He was in on it. He knew that was coming, but to get himself more press and more eyes on him, he played up that he didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
That was a massive work. But he knew what was coming. Vince is the boss at that time. If Vince is telling you you're dropping the title in front of you, you could be wrestling in your own front room. If Vince says you're losing the title, you're losing the title. At the end of the day, he puts your name on the check and stamps it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
As if, I know there's this footage of him slapping Vince and stuff.
And Sean.
No, sorry.
No, there's no footage.
Let
They
me
say
add that.
there's-
There is a sound bite of him slapping Vince. No one actually seen it, barring the ones that was in the room, which were all employees of WWE at the time and friends of him. Brett screwed Brett. Brett is not. I people say dream matches today. Like, could you genuinely see Brett and Seth Rollins going at it and
No.
Brett actually been able to hang with
But
Seth
give me Randy Savage
and Seth Rollins?
all day.
Yeah,
or Roman and like Warrior or something.
absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but if you say to me, "Oh, I'm gonna have Bret Hart versus Daniel Bryan," can we please not?
So do
Brian would show up Bret Hart so much is unreal.
you know way like now I used to say about when Punk went to AEW that he was taking the opportunities away from people that can coming up. Bret Hart did that in
Yes,
the
a
90s
billion%.
when he went to WCW. Not necessarily when he was in WWF. When he went to WCW, when he spat his dummy out, picked his toys off and went off to WCW, he took opportunities away from people with Hogan and the other ones. I'm not saying it's just him before everyone well about this. There was a lot more going on in WCW, but he took the opportunities away from people that probably deserved a lot more recognition. I could rattle a couple of names off if you want. Conan, Billy Kidman, Lex Luger fell under his shadow. Lex could have been so much more prolific. Savage, Snooker, Ricky Steamboat, the list goes on. Him and Hogan both the same. They took limelight and privileges away from people that deserved them far more. And anybody that's calls them the best ever, give your fucking head a wobble.
Yeah, he's nowhere near.
You've got too many people now. Like this guy behind me now, after this weekend, he's got to go on that list. Seth Rollins. If you want to go down through the years, Savage, Piper. Go on.
Any
Right.
any shout outs that we've not mentioned?
I really struggled with the overrated one. I really
Obviously,
did.
he put JBL in it. He put
No.
Austin Theory.
I stand by JBL.
I put Sting.
You put Sting. I did think about Goldberg. I did think about who's the other one? Kevin Nash as well, rattled around for a few minutes, but I got that out really quickly. He came in, but I was more his WCW stuff because he was booking himself for everything. Trying to think of anybody else. I did think about Brock, but then I couldn't give you a genuine enough reason why I wanted him in there. And then, do you know what? Underrated.
Yeah,
I think I missed
Underrated.
out.
There's fucking loads, mate.
There's loads, and go on and go on and go on.
I'm going to put Chad Gable in. But I feel he's been getting some better booking now.
I think Chad's gathering heat now. We could see
Yeah.
a good move from Chad and the Knicks. People, I'm trying to think, like, there's people like on the list I was reading, people going like Chavo Guerrero underrated. I don't see it, and
No.
I just don't think Chavo was good.
People were putting Warrior in overrated.
Don't agree with that.
No.
I was toying with the idea. I'm not gonna lie.
Underrated. I don't think Warrior, but at the same point, I think Warrior's worst enemy. Warrior screwed Warrior by
Yeah,
being
yeah.
egotistic.
But the ones I've put in there for me, like obviously Sting, and people are gonna definitely come at me with Sting, and that's understandable. But I got Ultimate Warrior more than I got Sting. But
Yeah.
I probably watched them the probably same amount of time.
They're underrated, but the more I think it's because of what happened. Also, if you really dig into the Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And Kevin, he never really achieved the goals that the rest of them did. But that's unfortunately was what happened.
Grayson Waller, underrated.
Keith Lee.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I know something legit. I know we joke about Keith Lee, but Keith Lee could be one for underrated. It's currently sat on AEW doing nothing.
I know. To be fair, if we were talking in 2020, then I'd agree with you.
Right now, Keith Lee's got medical problems. He's not being not booked. That he's not being booked because they've got nothing for him and don't know what to do. He's got medical issues.
He's literally not well, isn't he? He can't wrestle because of his heart, innit? Is it his heart?
Yeah, his heart issues.
Yeah. So.
And obviously with what happened with Bray, there's no chance he's being taken with heart issues no more.
Yeah. No.
But you obviously know that yourself, Ted. So
Bray underrated.
By a lot of people, yeah. I rate him highly.
Obviously, we rate him highly, but in wrestling business,
a lot of people. Oh, do you know what? He was on a lot of people's list I read online of overrated as well.
Yeah, I've read a load of people saying
there was a lot of people put him overrated. A lot of people don't. But this is what overrated and underrated is. Very opinionated. Like you obviously you were Sting.
Yeah.
You were Sting. All three of us with Bret Hart. We're going to get comments, and this is why we do this. It's our opinions. This is what I said to Ted when he rang me. He messaged me yesterday about Bobby Lashley. Says that's your pick. That's your opinion. That's fine. If you've got a good reason and do it. Me with Dustin. I mean, some people are going to be like, really, Dustin underrated? Well, yeah. But next week, are we doing top fives next week, or what? What's the plan?
Next week was going to be top five again.
Yeah.
And then the end of next week, we were going to say our 5 wrestlers that we don't get or we don't like, and then I'm
glad we're getting a bit more time on that because I need to play around mine.
That's why we thought we'll give it another week. Plus, it's Bash, so there'll be a lot of WWE talk. So we thought we'll just do another top 5. Bit of a list. Let's have a look. Top 5 ideas. What do you want to do? Wrestlers to never win the big one. Storylines. Awful storylines. Championships.
Should we do championships?
Yeah. Top 5 favorite championship designs.
Championships, yeah. If you want to call it designs, whatever. I'll probably just pick top 5. My favorite top 5 belts of all time.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of belts floating around there.
Quick and easy, that one.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, top 5 championships, because then it gives us time. Obviously, because we're going to do it separate now, it gives us time to explain the new thing that's going to come in as well a bit more. So yeah, next week top 5 championship, guys. Get in the comments below your top 5 overrated, underrated. I'm intrigued to see if we put someone in there and you want to fight their case. Do it in the comments. Let us know.
Oh, mate.
As Shinsuke would say. Underrated, by the way.
I was going to put Shinsuke in underrated.
Just fell off my list. Underrated.
Yeah.
But yeah, get in the comments. Desert Man, I am intrigued to see yours. Let's go. Juicy, anybody else who's watching this, get involved. Let us know. Hit the subscribe button while you're there. Follow us on socials. Don't forget TikTok. We do live streams over there too. Plenty going on this week. But guys, been a long one today. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.